All right, guys, in this video, I'm showing you how to build your own unlimited research agent. And before I do that, I want to show you the actual structure of what we're building today. So first things first, just like in any AI agent, you need the brain and the tool. So for the brain, we're going to be using OpenRouter. And the second one is Perplexity. It's kind of like ChatGPT, but it's a research tool that's absolutely insane. So ideally, by the end of this video, we're going to have an AI agent built in N8N that has an input message. So we say, hey, go do this amount of research. The information is then synthesized using OpenRouter and Perplexity, found, and then that research is then delivered back to you in the output form of a paragraph or article or whatever you request. All right, so I went ahead and created a new N8N. Click Start from Scratch and add your first step. Now, the first message we're going to add, like I said, is an on-chat message. And this, we'll just be able to send a message. So we can type, we can say, hello. So we'll be able to send information. And as you can see, it says the node executed successfully. So it works, which is good. Now, we need to actually connect this to something, which is going to be our AI agent, in order to synthesize that information. Right now, we're just sending a message into the metaverse. So let's add an AI agent. So now I've connected the AI agent. Now here on the chat model, we need to actually connect OpenRouter. So OpenRouter is going to act like the brain behind our agent. Now, if we see select credential, I have no credentials. So I want to create a new credential. And what is it asking me for? An API key. So in order to get that API key, I need to go over to my account. A quick heads up, for any of these services, you usually need to add like a minimum of $5. It's not a big deal, but you have to add the credits. Otherwise, it literally won't work. So just add the credits. So if I go over here to the left, I go to my API keys, click create API key, and we're just going to call this unlimited key because we're unlimited, and click create. Okay. So now we have the API key. So let's just copy and paste this. Let's go back over to N8N, paste that, and then we're just going to click save. Credentials successfully created inside your personal space. So this is saved, and let's go on to the next step. So now that I've connected to OpenRouter, I can choose from a bunch of different chat models. So you can see just how many there are. I mean, it's actually insane, but I'm just going to stick with the 4.1 mini just for the sake of simplicity's sake. Okay, so the agent is now set up, and if we actually send hello, this is how you can test immediately that the agent is actually working. So as you can see, we send the message, it goes into our agent, it goes out to OpenRouter, and then we get the response. So right now it's working. We can move on to the next part. Super important test at every step of the way because you just want to make sure things are working. So now we have our chat model attached and it's time to move on to the tool. So click this little plus button again. And now we're going to add Perplexity. All right, so we have Perplexity, same thing. What do you know? Credentials to connect with, select credential. We don't have a credential. So click create new credential. There you go. API key. So same thing. We're going to go over to Perplexity. I'm going to go into my account and go to API. Go into your API keys, click create API key, and we're just going to call this the unlimited API. I'm just going to copy and paste the newly created API key that I just made, and I'm going to paste it directly into N8N and click save. Now that we have the credentials saved, if you see down here where it says model, this is essentially going to be the depth at which the research will be done. So I'm going to go with Sonar Deep Research, but you guys can actually look up on Perplexity's website. It'll show you the differences between each model and the depths of research. But for now, I'm just going to do Sonar Deep Research because it seems to be the best one for this use case. Now, down here where it says messages, you're going to click let the model define this parameter. It's what you would be typing if you were trying to look this up on Google. So just click that. It'll be defined automatically by the model. Now, if you go further down, you can add options. So this is where you can add search domain filters. So you could say, give me results from everything except for this, or all the domains that include this, right? So you can start to apply conditional values. Now we have Perplexity set up. So let's go back to the canvas. Okay, so now everything is connected. All we're going to do now is we're just going to run a test. What you're actually going to be doing with the AI agent, ideally you want to go in here and actually change like the messages and everything that you're sending. So we'll send a system message and we'll essentially prompt it according to whatever information or research they want to go find. But without any prompting, I'm just going to send it off and show you guys what the results are. So let's save this and let's just fire this off. So I'm just going to send this message. I'm just going to say, how can I reduce back pain? You can see it working. So this takes a little bit because it's actually doing deep research. So I'll come back to you guys when it's done. Okay, so now we've gotten this back. I asked, how can I reduce back pain? And it gave me a response. Now, if you go over here to the right, you can actually see that it's used sources. And again, we haven't even prompted the AI agent yet, but it's actually went and done research. And here we go. How to improve sleep, lifestyle modifications, exercise and physical therapy. And over here, it actually shows the sources and like where it found it. So here you can see Mayo Clinic, Atlantic Health, Medical News Today. So pretty awesome. You can prompt the AI agent with wherever you want the information to come from and the quality and type of information, and it's going to go find that. And if we click on the Perplexity tool, we can actually scroll down and see all the different sources where it found it, which is fantastic. So I found 19 different sources. And if you're making a YouTube video and you want the specific sources of where the information is coming from, all you need to do is just tell the AI agent, hey, include the specific sources of where you found those citations, where you found that information, and it will include that the next time it searches, which is amazing. I remember in school, we had to include citations and papers we were writing, and we had to go through hours and hours worth of ancient databases to finally find citations and sources for our research papers. And now you can just create a bot to do infinite times the amount of work that you could ever do while you sleep. So now I'm going to show you guys how to switch the input. So instead of just sending a message, let's try to have data be fed in as an input to the AI agent and have it go and do research based on whatever's in that input. So let's swap this out for a Google Sheet. All right, so I want to show you guys this in practice. You don't necessarily need to make it so that when you click, it starts the workflow, but I added a Google Sheet. If you don't already know how to connect your Google credentials, I just made a video on that recently, so check that out. I'm not going to go over that in this video. I connected the sheets. I made sure this is filled in. So basically what it's going to do is it's going to go and research crypto, and then it's going to give me its findings. So we have this execute step good to go, but the only problem is I need to make sure the AI agent can actually read that information because it has to come in from somewhere in order to start the research. It has to be able to read the information to be able to process it. So if we click on the AI agent, right now it's just being trained to basically react to the message, which no longer exists. So let's click to define below, and all I have to do is drag the crypto from the left-hand side, drag it right in here. And now let's add a system message. So I said you're a professional research agent. You'll be given the name of a cryptocurrency and you'll be using Perplexity to do research about them and summarize the current state of the markets and any news or information that would be valuable to a trader. So now I'm going to click execute step. And now it's going to continue doing research on every single thing in that sheet. So if I load that up with every cryptocurrency ever, now it's going to continue to do that. And the cool thing is all you have to do is just change this input here. So if you want it to be a timer and just want it to run continuously, you can also do that. It doesn't need to just be a message or clicking. You can make sure it runs every day at 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. So when you wake up in the morning, you have a fresh batch of data to review. And if you just think about the amount of information that you can get, I mean, you can have this do product research. I'll probably make a video on that soon. If you have a business idea and you want research done overnight, then all you have to do is just make sure the AI agent understands where the information is coming from. And then it'll go and do research on your idea and validate it and say, hey, I think this will work, or hey, I don't think so. But it'll actually go and find citations and sources to help you to come to a conclusion for whatever you're thinking. Okay, so it finally finished up. So now we want to put all that information back into the same sheet. So now I'm just going to add Google Sheets. So now I'm going to take the output and drag the output into your findings because obviously we want to write it back into that sheet. Okay, so now when I click execute step, it'll write it back into that sheet. So now if we go back to that sheet, here I am in the Google Sheet. Now we can see all that information on these cryptos, and you can continue to do this daily. You can set up as like a scheduled thing. So every single day you get like your daily rundown of news, of information, finance news, whatever you need, whatever is going to be the most applicable and valuable to you personally. You can set that up right here in a couple minutes. As always, guys, if you need help building and scaling your AI automation agency, and if you want me to come into your business and build out your automations and marketing processes, book a call down below. I'll be more than happy to help. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments, and make sure you like and subscribe for more content. I'll see you guys in the next video.